fertilization, we had learned about the female reproductive organ. We learned about the role of different parts of the female reproductive organ. Okay, where we learned about ovary. Their main function is to produce the egg cell, that is ovum or ova, and other than that, it produces two hormones respectively, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen plays an important role in bringing secondary sexual characteristics in females, in the development of secondary sexual characteristics in the females. What are the secondary sexual characteristics in humans? These are the characteristics by which the male and female can be differentiated. Then ovary also produces progesterone, which particularly plays an important role during pregnancy. Then we learned about the fallopian tube. Right now, it's a funnel-shaped structure present on the far left and right corner, okay, in the female reproductive system, particularly to the far left and right of the uterus here. Also, we have learned that the ovum that is released by the ovary, it goes into the fallopian tube, and in the fallopian tube, fertilization is taking place. That is where fertilization takes place. Then we learned about the uterus. It's a pear-shaped organ where the development of the fertilized egg will take place. Basically, this is the organ that will allow the development of the fertilized egg into a human baby. Then it's further connected to vagina via this small opening called a cervix. Then we learned about the vagina as well. Right, these things we have learned. We also had learned about the role of some special organs like placenta and umbilical cord. Right now. Okay. Doha, tell me, what is the function of placenta? What does it do?
What's Oh, the placenta.
Yeah, the placenta. I think your network connection is weak. Your video is glitching. I can't even hear you. Yes, Doha? Yeah. I'm asking, what's the function of the placenta?
Oh, function of placenta.
Mm-hmm. See, basically, it's a tissue. Right now, it's a temporary tissue which develops and transports all the necessary requirements of the children from the mother, like it delivers food to the children, it delivers oxygen and water to the growing child here, to the growing baby. And the umbilical cord is the one that is delivering all the necessary things from the placenta to the growing baby here. Okay. So it's a temporary organ that forms in the uterus during pregnancy. It plays an important role in supporting the growing baby, that is embryo or the fetus. It will be transporting nutrients, will deliver oxygen and remove the waste products that is produced in their body, whether it be the liquid waste, solid waste, or the gaseous waste. Okay. We learned about the menstruation as well. In menstruation, we had learned about two very important terms. That was menarche and menopause. Okay, now? So you guys answer to me, what do we mean by menarche? And what's the meaning of menopause? Yeah.
Sir, it is when the
When
menstruation cycle starts, menarche, and then menopause is when the menstruation cycle ends.
Mm-hmm. Is that correct, Yaduha?
Yes, sir.
That is correct indeed. Right now. So when the first menstruation takes place, when the first menstrual cycle starts, so that is called as menarche. And that starts at the age of puberty, that is around 11 to 12 years. Right now. So menarche is basically, it is the first menstrual cycle. Okay, it occurs at puberty, that is around the age of 11 to 12 years. Okay, but it may vary from person to person. Who's there in the waiting room? Hold on. Priyanka. Okay. So it may vary from person to person, by the way. Okay, na? It depends upon the lifestyle. Okay, na? Lifestyle, health condition, etc. Then about the menopause, it's the last menstrual cycle. Okay, na? And it marks the end of the reproductive life cycle of the woman. It marks the end of reproductive cycle of females. And typically it's at the age of 50 years, around 50 years of age. At this time the menstruation stops. Okay, now we are going to learn about this men's fertilization. Okay, now how it occurs. Okay, now how it occurs, where it occurs. After fertilization, the embryo that is formed. Okay, now the embryo that is formed, how does it grow? We'll be learning about that. What is embryo? What is fetus? What is the difference between them? We'll be learning about such things as well. So let's continue from here. So talking about fertilization. So fertilization is basically the fusion of the male gametes and the female gametes. Okay, na? It's the male gametes and the female gametes. So fertilization, okay, it will occur when the sperm and the ovum will fuse together. So the fusing of these two is simply called as fertilization. What exactly is fusing? So we get to see that actually the nucleus of both of them is fusing together, right? This is the nucleus of ovum, right?
Yes.
And as we have learned that the head of the sperm contains nucleus in it now, isn't it? So that is the nucleus of the sperm. That's the nucleus of the sperm. So later on we are seeing that actually what happens, it's not that the entire sperm cell enters inside the ovum, but only the head enters, and further the nucleus of the sperm and the nucleus of the ovum cell, they fuses together. They fuses together, right? Also, one more important thing we know, that nucleus carries the genetic material. What does it contain? It contains the genetic material, like contains, hold on, it contains chromosomes, DNA, and gene. Chromosome, DNA, and gene. What is it? This is the genetic material. Okay, now?
Assalamu
Getting it,
alaikum, sir.
everyone? Yeah, volume slam.
Yes.
Sir, I joined late because I got the I was attempting a test before this. I got the link
No
link
issue, no
late.
issue. Continue from here, no issue. Hmm. Yeah, good evening, Priyanka. You there? How are you? So what I'm saying that when fertilization occurs, basically the sperm and the ovum is fusing together, and further, yeah, I'm also doing good, Priyanka. And further, what we're saying that actually the nucleus of both the cells are fusing together, right? It's the nucleus that is fusing together. Then further, I'm saying that the nucleus carries the genetic material. By the way, it is also important to note down when fertilization takes place, a new cell is formed that is called a zygote, by the way. Okay, na? Sperm and ovum fusing together to form a new cell, that is simply zygote. It's formed as a result of combination of sperm and ovum simply. Okay. So since this zygote, you can't see the screen, Priyanka. What about others? My screen is visible to everyone or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
It is now. Priyanka, please see if the network issue in your area can be resolved. Maybe you guys can contact to the Wi-Fi provider or the people who are concerned with this. Okay, now this has been a regular issue in your area particularly. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm saying that since the zygote is formed as a result of combination of both sperm and ovum, so it will have characteristics of both male and female parent. The sperm that's coming from the male parent and the ovum that's coming from the female parent. So the zygote will have characteristics from both of them. It will possess the characteristics of both the parents. Then I'm saying that as the nucleus is fusing together and the nucleus carries the genetic material. Okay, it carries the genetic material. What are the genetic material? It contains chromosomes, DNA, and gene in it. Getting it, guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
After this chapter
Yes, sir.
finished, most likely we'll be learning about age of adolescence. There we will learn in detail about chromosomes. Okay, we'll be learning about chromosomes in detail there. Okay, but still I will give you a small idea about this. Like when you will look at the structure of the nucleus now, within the nucleus you will find some thread-like structures will be present. If say that this is a nucleus, so there will be thread-like structures present inside it. Getting it? Thread-like structures kind of like this will be present inside them. And that is what we call as chromosomes. That is what we are calling as chromosomes. Then chromosomes are made up of DNA and DNA contains gene in it. Listen to this very carefully. This right here, I have drawn a nucleus. Suppose inside the nucleus, what are you having? You're having chromosomes. Okay, now what are
Yes, sir.
chromosomes made up of?
DNA and gene.
Exactly, made up of DNA. Okay, then I'm saying DNA contains genes in it. Okay, DNA contains genes in it. So all of these are basically together, they are genetic material. Genetic material. Okay, so far I think it should be clear to everyone. If there's any confusion, raise your hand. Nucleus. Nucleus has chromosomes in it. Chromosomes are made up of DNA and DNA have genes in them. Okay. These are some new terms, but you guys need to get familiar with these terms. Okay. Na? Although it's new, but try to get familiar with it. Okay. Then what I'm saying that if suppose I were, what happened? Hold on. 1 minute. If suppose if a sample of muscular tissue weight would be taken from body, okay, na, from a human body, like muscle cells are taken, okay, na, suppose this is a non-sex cell. Can I say muscular cell as non-sex cell? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I can
sir.
say no, it's a non-sex cell. Okay, so this muscle cell, when you will look at its nucleus, so this nucleus will have a total of 46 chromosomes in it. How many chromosomes will be found in it?
46 chromosomes.
46 chromosomes. Very good. Not only the muscle cell, any sex cell any cell other than the sperm in the male or ovum in the female will have 46 chromosomes. Whether it be the bone cells, whether it be the hair cells, whether it be, although hair cells are dead and the nail cells are also dead, or whether it be, let's say, the cells of your heart, all of them will have how many chromosomes in it?
46.
46 chromosomes. Good. But when we talk about the sperm and the ovum now, so this sperm, the nucleus of the sperm contains only 23 chromosomes. How many? 23 chromosomes.
23.
Then when we talk about the nucleus of the ovum, so nucleus of ovum also contains how many chromosomes? 23 chromosomes. Okay. So again, keep this thing in mind. The chromosomes basically are genetic material, right now? They are genetic material. So in them, different informations are encoded. Getting Abu Bakr, Priyanka, Mustafa, Doha, everyone. Various
Yes, sir.
information about the parents will be kind of encoded in them. Like it could be about various things. For example, uh, for example, it could be about the like if someone has curly hair right now, it could be the skin color, right? It could be the height, okay, now height, etc. So such kind of informations are kind of present in the chromosomes. Similarly, the bodily features of the female, right now, such things will be present in the chromosomes. Getting it? Like curly hair, the color of the iris. You guys know the color of the iris gives the eye its color. The color of the iris now. Some people have brown, black, or some people even have blue, right? Rarely some people have green as well. So such kind of informations about the male and female parents are present in the chromosomes. So can we say that half the information, half of the characteristics is coming from the male parent, that is from chromosome?
Yes, sir.
Abu Bakr, I will come to that point by the way. Huh. So what I'm saying that
Sir, I have a doubt.
23, just 1 minute. Let me quickly summarize this. I will get it out. I will clear it. So I'm saying that 23 chromosomes are from the sperm and 23 chromosomes are from the ovum, right? So 23 chromosomes from the male parent and 23 from female parent. So both the parents are having equal contribution in it, right? So hence the zygote, which is later on going to grow, become into a newborn baby, will have characteristics from both the parents, right now. So sometimes it's seen that if the father suppose have curly hair, so it's possible that the children may have or may not have. It's also that it may not have. It's also that if even if both the parents have curly hairs, so the child may not have even may not have curly hairs. Getting it now? Let's suppose the grandparents they did not had curly hairs. So the children may have borrowed because the characteristics now, these genetic characteristics passes from generation to generation. Getting what I'm trying to say? Like your
Yes.
parents, they have received the bodily features from their parents and they from their parents. Getting it now? So it passes generation after generation also. So as you said, Abu Bakr, in that case, your grandparents may not have a curly hair. Getting it? Or your grand and grandparents like several generations ago. So that is the thing. Yeah, Mustafa, you're saying something.
Sir, for eye colored, sir, does it have to be like, sir, if one of our ancestors or parents has some eye color, so we also get it, or is it just random?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Okay, suppose it's observed that both the male and female parents they have brown or black eyes. Okay, but the children, their children might have blue eyes. It's observed. So actually, as I said moments ago, no, like if suppose one of the grandparents, or even if you were to go several generations before, some of the grandparents, okay, no, had blue eyes or green eyes, so that characteristics may be passed on to their grandchildren's. Getting it now? One generation to another generation, or it may be it may not be visible in the first generation or second generation, but that trait, but that characteristics may be visible in the third generation, in the fourth generation. Getting it now? So that is the thing. So hope this point is clear to everyone that fertilization is basically the fusion of the sperm and the ovum. Okay, and the nucleus of both the cells are actually fusing together. Then after fertilization, a new cell is formed that is called a zygote. It is important to note down here that zygote is also a unicellular structure right now. Okay, it's a unicellular structure. Just like the sperm and the ovum were unicellular, made up of only one cell, this zygote is also unicellular. But when its development will take place, the cell in it will start to multiply. Then further, I am saying that since the zygote is formed with the fusion of male and female gametes, so the new individual that is going to grow will have characteristics of both the parents. Then I'm saying this characteristics basically, which we are talking about here, is present inside the nucleus of the cells, present inside the nucleus of sperm and ovum, right? What does the nucleus contain? It contains the genetic material, that is chromosome, DNA, or gene. Then I'm saying that in the non-sex cells, like the muscle cells, bone cells, lung cells, any other cells, any cell other than the gamete cells, they have 46 chromosomes in them. Getting it? But this gamete cells now, they have half the number of chromosomes. So sperm is containing 23 chromosomes from the male parent, and ovum is containing 23 chromosomes from the female parent. So when these two cells are fusing together, zygote is formed, and zygote will have equal share of the chromosomes from both the parents. Hence, the children will have both. But it is also important to note down that some of the characteristics are dominant than others. Getting what I'm trying to say? Let me tell you some important thing. Like might sound a bit funny or like kind of weird, but some of the people can roll their tongue, and some people cannot roll. Getting what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying roll backward from middle like like this. You can roll it. Getting it? While some of them are not able. Also, the earlobe. Okay, now earlobe, this ear pin over here, it's connected, and in some people it's kind of hanging. Getting it? What I'm trying to say? In some people it's like this. In some people it's like this. Getting it? Okay. So some of the characteristics are dominant over another, even if there's equal share, but some of the characteristics will be more visible, will be dominant. It will dominate the other characteristics. Getting it? So that is the thing. By the way, these things will be learning in much detail in when you go to higher classes, particularly. Then we will also quickly learn like where exactly the fertilization occurs. So these are the sperm cells passing through the vagina and then through the cervix. Through the cervix, these are going, and now it's going into the fallopian tube or the oviduct. Then you will find that the ovum is already there, and the ovum will be selecting one of the cell. Ovum, it's actually the ovum that will select one of the sperm cell, and then it will enter inside it. As it will enter inside it, then you will further see that the nucleus of both the cells are fusing together. So nucleus is fusing together. So can we say that the chromosomes are also joining together, like they are also mixing right now?
Yes, sir.
Now you're seeing the number of cells have multiplied. Zygote has converted into embryo, right? And now it has embedded itself into the wall of uterus, that is endometrium. Then placenta has developed, umbilical cord has developed, and the child receives nourishment from the mother from these spatial organs. So that is this thing. Also, one more thing you guys tell me. If
I have a
here,
question.
yeah.
Sir, so if it picks one cell, so it should pick the best one, right? So why are some people born with disabilities? And
Oh, that's an interesting question. That like if the ovum chooses the best cell, then why some people are born with disability? Okay, okay, I will come to that question in a minute. Okay, but before that, you guys answer this question to me. If there's 23 chromosome in sperm, 23 in ovum, so how many chromosomes will be there in zygote?
sir, 46.
Exactly, 23 plus 23, that is 46. So this question also might be asked sometimes in the exam. Okay. Yeah. Now talking about your question that why some people are born with defects, with some deformity. Okay, now see, there are so many things. There are so many factors responsible for this. Okay, there might be some genetic factor. There might be some environmental factor, right now, or it's seen that in some cases the causes may remain unknown. So some of the birth defects they might be inherited from the parents, while some of them are influenced by the environmental exposures during pregnancy. Like particularly during pregnancy, it is important to take good care of the pregnant woman, right? They need to consume the right kind of food, right? Now, also in certain medicines, it's clearly mentioned that not to be consumed by the pregnant women. So there's so many factors. One is the genetic factor, right? Now, genetic factor. Another will be the environmental exposure. Getting it? Then when I talk about the genetic factor, let me elaborate on that a little bit. Let me take a different screen. Hold on. So you have asked a very good question. Why some people are born with deformities? Okay, that's the question. So for this, there are various reasons are there for reasons. One of the reason will be the genetic factor. Genetic factors. So when we talk about the genetic factor, okay, like you guys know about Down syndrome, right? Now you have heard about Down syndrome. There's a very famous
Yes, sir.
climate activities. She suffers from Down syndrome. What's her name? Greta Thunberg. Anyone heard of her?
Yes, sir.
You have? Good.
Yes, sir.
So Down syndrome is a genetic abnormality, right? Now it's so basically what happens in Down syndrome. The children who are born with Down syndrome, in their body there is an extra copy of chromosome number 21. Like we have an example of Down syndrome. So the cause behind this Down syndrome is that there is an extra copy of chromosome number 21. There are total 46 chromosomes, as I said to you guys, right? So there's an extra copy of chromosome number 21 in them, right? Then have you guys heard about the term mutation? In comics, in Marvel, you might have
Yes, sir.
be familiar with the term mutation, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? If you are familiar with characters like, for example, Wolverine, how many have heard about it? Wolverine,
Sir, me.
you have? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So right, like in super movies, you must have seen those characteristics, those superheroes or so-called superheroes, I would say, or characters who basically have something, some special powers are them in them are present in their body right now. Like they can take a different form, like for example, Hulk, right? Getting it now. So it's basically a mutant. So there's some mutation in its body. So basically, mutation in one of the gene can lead to some birth defects, like as I told you about the genes here which are present in the DNA. Okay, so if there's some mutation in the gene, so it can also lead to birth defect. Okay, now so that is the genetic factor for it. Getting it, Aman? Getting it, Mustafa? Then some other reasons for it, as I said, it could be the environmental factor. Environmental factor to which the pregnant woman was exposed. Okay, what it could be, like it could be the infection caught by the mother during pregnancy, right? It could be some viral infection that they might catch. Okay, it might be infection to harmful substances, right? Now, like for example, if some woman, let's suppose she is alcoholic, so alcohol also has a very bad effect on the growth of the fetus, right? Now, or certain kind of medications, right now, or suppose if the particularly particularly I think you guys will agree to this thing, that particularly more particularly like in the slums now, children's more number of children are born with deformities in slums, right? More number of children, if you were to look at like the birth of children with some deformity. So if a family is living in a clean environment, right now the mother is being properly fed, right now they're not suffering from malnutrition, living in hygienic condition, so the child is very less likely to be born with a deformity. Even if there were to be some deformity, it will be because of genetic factors. But if you talk about people living in the slum areas, so it's most likely because of malnutrition, because of exposure to harmful chemical substances like mercury, right now, lead or mercury, it can cause birth defect. Getting it what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
So it could be because of wrong medications, could be because of alcohol consumption, could be because of exposure to mercury, or lead. Okay, no, mercury or lead. By the way, you guys know there's a substance called as arsenic. Okay, now if it is present in high concentration in water, it can be very deadly. Okay, that's the thing. And then there are some other causes also. There could be some unknown causes also, right? Like many of the birth defects that are very difficult to understand. Okay, that's the thing. Also, have you guys seen the babies born with 4 legs, 6 legs? You might have seen some documentaries or such thing. So that kind of condition with multiple limbs, that occurs because of a condition called as polymelia. Okay, no, of a condition called as polymelia. Okay, sometimes the extra limb have to be cut down. They have to go through surgery. Okay, hope that is clear. Okay, now
Yes.
let's
Yes, sir.
answer this question that sometimes it may be asked at how fertilization takes place. Okay, so we will answer that fertilization occurs in humans. Fertilization occurs when a sperm cell fuses with the zygote, sorry, I mean to say ovum, with the ovum. And where does it occur? In the,
Female body.
particularly in the fallopian tube, we should be saying, right? Then this union of the two cells, this union forms a new single cell. What are we calling that? Yes,
Zygote.
Zygote.
zygote. Zygote that bears characteristics from both the parents. Okay, then if you were to break down this, okay, now if you have to break down the complete step, so first what occurs? The sperm enters the female reproductive organ, right? And at the same time the ovum must be released, right? Now at the same time the ovum is released. So second thing will be the release of egg simultaneously at the same time. Getting it? So the ovaries will release the egg that will travel to the fallopian tube at the same time. Then third is basically fertilization will happen. Okay, fertilization will happen. After this, what exactly happens now? As this is the ovum and that's the sperm. So what happens? The sperm would be penetrating into the ovum. Right now, once the egg and the sperm it comes together, right now, so thereby what will be happening? Like as we are seeing that millions of sperm cells are going inside the reproductive organ, and millions of sperms would be actually surrounding the egg, but only one will be able to penetrate the outer layer of the ovum actually, and it's actually selected by the ovum, right? It's not mere chance. Okay, it's not mere chance or that the most healthy one, but basically the ovum selects it, right? So sperm enters ovum, we can see, right? Then after that, what is happening? The nucleus is fusing, right? Fusion of nucleus takes place, and then we can see that zygote is formed. Zygote formation takes place, and after this, basically, the zygote will now get implanted into the. Where will the zygote get implanted?
To the wall of the
Hmm. uterus, you mean to say, right? Into the wall of the
Yeah.
uterus, it will implant. So that is about fertilization, and this is the breakdown of how it occurs in different stages. Okay, as you guys can see here also. Okay. Now after the fertilization, the zygote, what we are seeing, the cells in the zygote will start to multiply. It will repeatedly multiply. There will be 2 cells, 4 cells, 8 cells, 16 cells, and 32 cells, like that. So you guys can see this is a lump of ball with multiple cells in it. Okay, now it's like a lump of ball with multiple cells in it. If you were to look at it in detail, so you are seeing here at this stage there's about 32 cells inside this. Okay, now, and at the 32 stage it's called as blastocyst. Although you don't have to memorize this term. Okay. So zygote formed after the fertilization process divides itself in a repeated manner and forms a ball of cell like this. These cells then form different groups, and each group then starts developing into different tissues and organs. What I'm saying that these cells in it now, they will start to now differentiate into different tissues. They will start to differentiate into different types of tissues now. Like this much of tissue, let's say, will start to form what? Let's say this much of tissue will start to form the skin. This much of tissue will start to form the bones. Getting it? This much of tissue will start to form the muscles. Okay, like this. So they will segregate themselves, right? No. So at this stage, we are calling this as embryo. When there's a group of cell in it, it forms a ball of cell, and those ball of cells have started to differentiate itself into different tissues, which will later convert into bones, muscles, skin, and etc. So at this stage, we are calling this as embryo. Getting it now? So these cells, which are forming different groups, and each group will start developing into different tissues and organs. So that structure is called as embryo, right? So this embryo now will further embed itself into the wall of the uterus. See, that's the wall of the uterus, which we also know, which we also call endometrium. Okay, now endometrium. That's the wall of the uterus, and here you can see the embryo has embedded itself. This entire structure where I'm circling, that's the embryo. It has embedded itself. It has implanted itself into the wall of the uterus. Now it will receive nutrition from the mother and will grow further. Okay. Doha, read from here. From here.
Okay. The embryo embeds itself into the uterus wall and continues to develop and grow. Soon, the body parts such as hands, legs, feet, eyes, and ears start developing. The embryo, whose parts can be identified individually, is called a fetus.
Fetus.
The
Fetus.
fetus, yeah, fetus. The fetus then completely develops and takes birth as a baby.
Good. Clear to everyone now? Okay. This will later on. What will happen at certain time? We will see that the different parts of the body, like hand, like feet, eyes, and ears, they will start to develop, and they can be identified individually. Like look at this image over here, right now. Now at this stage, for example, right over here, we can see that the parts of the body can be identified individually. Like this is the limb, that's the ear, like that. So that a stage where the parts of the body is identifiable. So that is called as fetus. That is called as fetus. Now the question is that how is the development happening here? Like how the zygote has converted into embryo, then embryo is converting into fetus. How is it happening? So there must be some cell division going on now. The number of cells must be increasing in it. Getting it, guys? That's the only
Yes, sir.
possible way how its size is increasing, right? So right after the fertilization, we learned that the zygote starts to multiply repeatedly. Zygote, it starts to multiply repeatedly. So zygote cells in the zygote starts to multiply repeatedly. Then it converts into embryo. Later on, embryo will convert into fetus. At this stage, parts of body are basically identifiable. Okay, but at the embryonic stage, the parts of the body are not identifiable. At this stage, only the different groups of cells which have formed have started to develop into tissues. What has happened at the embryonic stage? Different groups of cells starts to develop into tissues and organs. Is the parts of the body identifiable at embryonic stage? Obviously, no. And zygote is basically a unicellular structure formed right after fertilization. Okay. So here's the difference between the zygote and the embryo. Zygote consists of a single cell, while embryo consists of more than one cell. Zygote is formed right after fertilization, and embryo is now formed after the fertilization process has ended. Right after that, the embryonic stage starts. Then zygote does not have well-defined organs or tissues, but the tissues in the embryo are well-defined. Okay, no, they are well-defined. Quickly answer these questions, everyone.
So zygote formation.
What about others? Priyanka, you haven't been answering.
Sir,
Mustafa,
zygote
you there?
formation. Yes, sir. A.
So that is zygote formation. Very good. How many chromosomes are there in zygote?
Sir,
23.
46.
60.
46,
46, yeah,
46.
46.
Yeah,
46
46.
chromosomes. Okay. 23 it has borrowed from
Father
The
and mother.
sperm.
23 from sperm and 23 from ovum, right?
Ovum.
Good. Where does the embryo get implanted for further development?
Uterus.
Uterus. Okay. What about the others?
The uterus.
Yeah, that's correct, Priyanka. Good. Super. Uterus. What do we call the wall of uterus?
Endometrium.
Endometrium. Very good. Okay. What connects the developing baby to the mother for the exchange of nutrients and waste?
Umbilical cord.
B. Umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord. Very good. By the way, you guys know that umbilical cord is very important. This umbilical cord, no, umbilical cord is very important. Okay. It's said that using umbilical cord, some conditions can be cured. So medical conditions can be cured. It's said that. Getting it now. Why so? Because actually, this umbilical cord, no, inside the umbilical cord, special type of stem cells are found. Getting it? What is found? Stem cells are found inside this umbilical cord. Okay. And using these stem cells, some of the patients who are suffering from life-threatening diseases, like it could be blood cancer, it could be bone marrow failure, it could be sickle cell anemia. So such kind of medical conditions actually can be cured with the help of stem cells found in the umbilical cord. Getting what I'm trying to say? Yes.
So what are the stem cells?
What are the stem cells?
Stem.
Like, see, basically the stem cells are kind of um, they can basically produce, like they are particularly found in the embryos. They're found in the like they basically help in repairing the tissues. they help in regeneration of tissues, or they will help in repairing the damaged tissues particularly, right now. So that is the thing, like they can transform themselves into specialized cells, like they can transform them into muscle cells, they can even transform themselves into the nerve cells, or like the blood cells. Getting it? Also, many people go through this stem cell treatment. Okay, stem cell treatment, many athletes go through the stem cell treatment, and they have seen significant uh, um, significant improvement in their performance. Getting it? No? Like suppose, for example, if the part of a tissue is damaged, suppose if the bicep tissues has been damaged, suppose for example, there has been a long injury. So with injecting the stem cells in that portion, it will repair the damaged tissues. Okay, no? So that's something. Which of the following is the site where fertilization usually occurs in the female reproductive system?
Fallopian tube.
Yes, what about you guys? Yeah, Priyanka, Mustafa. Everyone have to answer, irrespective of whether the current answer is correct or wrong. Yeah, that
The
is.
ovary.
You sure about it? Site here basically refers to the place. Which of the following is the place where fertilization usually occurs?
Sir,
Yes,
C.
sir, fallopian.
Fallopian tube. What's another name of fallopian tube? What is its another name? Yes, anyone?
Oviduct.
Oviduct. Very good. So that is oviduct. Okay. The ovary releases multiple eggs during ovulation every month.
False.
Is it true or false? Come on, it's a simple question.
False.
Sir, false.
So false. It releases
Exactly.
one egg.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, Priyanka, that's good. Okay. What is ovulation?
Blood.
No.
Like
Ovulation.
when we,
Ovulation.
yeah. Oh,
Yes, anyone? I have taught about this in the
Uh,
last class. Hmm.
Sir, the process where new egg is formed in females.
Formed or released?
Sir, released.
Released. Okay. Rather, you should be seeing a mature egg cell, a mature ovum is released during the menstrual cycle. Getting it now? So the release of mature egg cell, that is basically ovum, mature egg cell during menstrual cycle, that is called as ovulation. Okay. Okay, tell me, what is an embryo? What is an embryo? It's one of the stage in the development of the human baby, right?
Yes, sir.
So question is usually asked in the exam about embryo. Answer it. Yes. It's that stage of the development of the zygote where a group of cell forms and develops into different tissues and organs, right? Let me repeat. It's that stage of the development of the zygote where group of cells have developed into different tissues. Okay, na, they develop into different tissues and starts to form organs. But still at this stage, the parts of the body like hand, leg, they are not much identifiable. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now we have a very interesting concept about the in vitro fertilization, or basically the test tube. We'll be learning about the test tube babies. Okay. See, the thing is that there are many parents, many females, okay, who are unable to bear the baby. Getting it? Who are unable to bear the baby. There are multiple reasons. There could be multiple reasons for this, but out of all, the main reason for this is a blocked fallopian tube. It will be a blocked fallopian tube. Hold on. What I'm saying that suppose this fallopian tube is blocked from here. Will the fertilization be possible? Will it be possible? If the fallopian tube in a female is blocked,
So
it won't be possible. And like if it is constricted from here like this, getting it? So since the ovum cannot pass further from here, so even if the sperm were to reach here, there is no ovum, so hence fertilization cannot occur. So if the fertilization cannot occur, obviously the woman cannot bear the baby, right? So in that case, we have the process of what we call as in vitro fertilization, where the mature egg cells will be fertilized with the sperm in a sterile environment, in a laboratory, basically. Getting it now? So do we have enough time left for this? Okay, we don't have much. One of you please read this paragraph as of now.
In some women, the oviducts are blocked and hence they are unable to hold the eggs. This means that these women are not able to bear the babies because of blocked oviducts. However, due to the process of vitro fertilization or IVF, the freshly released eggs of females and male sperms can be fertilized externally. The zygote thus formed is allowed to develop for a week outside the female body in safe conditions, and is then placed into the woman's uterus. In this way, these women can bear babies. The babies that are born with the IVF process are called test tube babies.
Hmm. Good. We'll be learning about in detail like how it is carried on in the next class. Okay. Before we end the class, you guys answer some questions. Okay. You guys tell me something about fetus. Like what is fetus? What is fetus and how is it different from embryo? Yeah. What is a fetus and how is it different from embryo?
So fetus is the stage where uh, the body parts are easily identifiable, but they're not completely developed yet.
Good. Okay. Is that correct? Yes, Priyanka? Okay, you guys tell me how is it different from embryo? What's the major difference between embryo and fetus? Yes, Abu Bakr, yeah, Duha.
in the